Welcome to the Not Superheroes Gets Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot laser, pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids and our loved ones. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing to barbecue is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. Thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing day today. Before we get into it, right, like always, make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. You guys know I appreciate all the different feedbacks, and actually before we dive into it as well, y'all, sometimes I have these proud dad moments that I share with other people, but I have a proud dad moment for myself. My youngest daughter, actually, she got a Student of the Month, and she just got, qualified for the Gifted and Talented program, which is super dope, and she's super excited about that. So I wanted to share that with y'all because I'm excited about it. So, I had to do a little humble brag with y'all. But with that being said, man, I'm excited to have my guy, Justin. How you doing today, guy?
I'm good. How you doing, Sean?
Man, I can't complain, bro. I can't complain at all. What I like to do a little icebreaker, bro. So before we dive into it, we're going to dive into the dynamics of the family and your beautiful new addition, because you do now have a beautiful baby girl you just had. So this is a great icebreaker, I feel like, especially for us new dads or adding to the family, right? So I want to ask you, bro, what is your sleep pattern looking like right now?
Right now, well, I'm not gonna say what I do in terms of like work, but let's just say I, typically work late for 4 nights a week. So just to give you a little bit of the schedule, usually before baby came, I would just come home, get home like at 3:30, 4 in the morning. Make my oldest daughter's lunch. My wife doesn't have to worry about that, and then she wakes her up, takes her to school. So that's how what we were doing. But right now, with some time, I'm taking off work. Unfortunately, yeah, I've just been kind of going with my oldest daughter's schedule, waking up with her, going to sleep with her, so, and then just having to wake up at numerous times, during the night to just, get a bottle, help with, like any changings, baby crying, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
so it's been kind of all over the place. I have kind of working graveyards. I mean, they'll tell you that sleep is,
Yeah.
you pretty much sleep when you can. So so I don't think I'm really feeling it like when I had my first one, but it's kind of all over the place right now in terms of I just sleep when I can and
Yeah.
stay awake when I can.
So how old is your oldest one?
My oldest one is 10.
Oh, she's 10. Okay.
10. So, and with me having my recent addition, that's my second one. So it's been about 10 years since I've last been through this whole baby thing. So it's kind of like day one again, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Because, like, especially for me, one big thing for me is once they're potty trained, you don't got to change diapers anymore. That's it. Now that's an accomplishment, within its own right,
Yeah.
So
Once you get that once you get them potty trained, it's like, all right, now I don't have to stress. Now I can have a little bit more fun with it.
yeah, yeah, a lot more fun. Yeah,
Yeah, man, that's
yeah,
funny.
changing
So
diapers, especially if you have multiple ones in diapers at a
yes,
time. I can imagine it's tough.
yeah, man. So then I was gonna ask, because your daughter's 10, and she's able to help a little bit, like she's like the little assistant almost.
um, well, one thing about my daughter is she is on the spectrum for autism, so
Okay.
we ask her to do a few things. I mean,
Yeah,
we're not gonna have her change diapers or anything like that, but
yeah,
just try to be helpful. Just like, hey, pass this or pass that or get that. So just she can understand basic commands like that.
yeah.
Only thing with her is she unfortunately is nonverbal, so
Okay.
yeah, she can't like really talk or anything. She can make out words here or there, and her
Yeah,
speech is getting a lot better. But
yeah,
I mean, we can have her help, when she can. Definitely, she's gotten to the point where, like, if I go to the grocery store, she can help me with bringing some groceries into the house or something like that.
yeah,
So it's gotten better than
yeah.
over the years, definitely. especially with
Oh,
her being 10. Just
yeah,
definitely find ways that she can help when she can. So
yeah, yeah. I'm sure. So she was probably excited though, to
yeah,
be a big sister. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
dope.
She's definitely peeked at the baby, and she says baby, and goes about her business.
Yeah.
Just I'm sure when she gets a little bit older, they'll be interacting a little more.
Oh,
So
absolutely. That's
that's
dope.
one thing I can't wait for.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. And I think, didn't you say too, your daughter just turned 10, right?
Yeah, she just turned 10 last month.
So, so basically, you on hit with you on because let's be honest, dads, right? Like we love our kids, but it's expensive, right? So I'm thinking, just as a dad, just thinking, man, I'm like, "Dang, your pocket's about to get hit hard, bro, during their birthdays."
Yeah, September is gonna be that month I'm not looking forward to years to come. No, I'm just kidding, but nah, but it's funny because my wife's due date was supposed to be 2 days before her birthday. Luckily, it was like 9 days earlier, so we were able to do something nice for her birthday. My brother and my mom and myself and my daughter, we all went to Knott's Berry Farm. She likes roller coasters, so we were able to make that happen for her, and then we were able to also have like a little get together at the house with her and some of the neighborhood kids and everything. Had some pizza and ice cream and stuff. So we made it special for her. Especially since she was turning 10. She's in double
Yeah,
digits now, so we can't.
yeah.
So we gotta make sure we represent that opportunity.
Absolutely, man. That's no, that's dope. And that's why I want to ask you, like, what's because you like you said it's been 10 years, so like,
Mm.
you know, that's one of the things I joke about. Like, man, I don't want to start over, right? Like because
Yeah.
I'm like I'm in the clear now. Obviously, my oldest is 10 years older than my son,
Hmm.
um, but after him, everyone else is like 2 years apart or whatever. So I want to ask you, like, how I guess or what's been like the biggest difference between your first and your second child? Not only just obviously, changing diapers and stuff like that, but even maybe like dealing with your wife's pregnancy to, now adjusting to, the baby's needs because every child is different. And obviously, as your daughter gets older, right, like obviously their personalities are going to be different too. But like, what's been, I
Yeah.
guess, like the biggest difference that you noticed?
But I don't know. At least with my wife's pregnancy, I think she will tell you that the first one was a little easier than this one. I think age, it catches up with you. And I think with this, in terms of, I mean, she's only about a month old now, my youngest. So I would have to say the biggest difference is she just cries a lot more than my oldest, from what I can remember. I mean, I think they
Yeah.
both cried a great amount, but I think this one, I think if there's a crown between the both of them, I think she's the winner in terms of crying the most and all that stuff. So it's been it's been interesting, but definitely I'll definitely try to look out for any other differences I see. But so far, I think that's really the main difference.
Yeah. No, I remember. It's funny you said that because I remember my youngest son, the way he cried. It wasn't as loud, but
Hmm.
it was almost like he was crying like he was losing his voice, and he would just do
Yeah,
it forever.
yeah. I think my wife noticed that her voice has been hoarse, and I would have to say another thing that I've noticed so far too. And I don't remember doing this with my oldest, but with my newborn, we have to carry her a lot. Otherwise, she'll just start going crazy. I don't know what it is, but we can barely like put her down just to do anything basic, or she'll just lose it. Got to give her a bottle. We're not trying to overfeed her, and we know like if she's been eating too much, so we
Yeah.
we try to definitely limit that to hey, we know you've had enough, so it's like you just want to be held. So I think she's already playing us, and I can only imagine how it will get when she gets older. That's
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say if she's already getting y'all now, I can only imagine. She like, yeah, he got you. Especially for you, she be like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure that, hey, Dad, come on, you're not gonna pick me up, Dad. You see me sad. Come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
definitely.
Especially because you, And I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, you're outnumbered now too. So it's all girls. Man,
Yeah, I'm outnumbered in terms of that, but we're not outnumbered in terms of the parent-kid ratio.
yeah,
Two
true.
parents, two kids. I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
Because I can take one, and then my wife can take the other.
yeah,
If
yeah,
it definitely works a tag team, and we've been doing a lot of that right now. Like I've been, taking my oldest to school quite a bit. During my LOA.
yeah,
So definitely trying to just help out where I can, with her and her needs, especially since she's a special needs child.
yeah.
Just making sure that she's all good, ready to go, and everything. So,
Mm,
I mean, there definitely are a few advantages. Two of them having such a big age gap.
yeah,
Just she doesn't need a car seat anymore, which is a good thing. She's well, as you know, I'm a pretty tall dude, so you can
yeah,
imagine that my daughter,
yeah.
she's like 5'2", 5'3", or something like that.
Jeez,
So for
that's
a 10-year
crazy.
old, that's pretty tall. So I mean, that's so it's definitely things like that. So she can ride up in the front seat with me, like when we
Yeah,
go places. So don't need like a diaper bag or anything like that with her.
yeah,
Just basic snacks, like if we're going somewhere, or and kiddos these days, they love their tablets. So as long as she
yeah.
has her tablet, she's good. But
She's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, dang, and I forgot. Yeah, cause how tall are you, bro?
I'm 6'3".
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we were on the same height. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, she tall. You put her in some volleyball or something. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're trying to get her, running around right now. So,
yeah, that's dope.
definitely physical education. It's pretty good. But
Yeah,
actually, one of her things that she loves to do is swim. She loves swimming.
really.
So,
That's dope.
yeah, so we have her in swim lessons, and she's learned pretty good. You
That's
know.
dope. Man, she could teach me because I look, y'all. Don't judge me. I'm not a swimmer. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
water like that, but I need to learn.
I took swim lessons as a kid, and I know how to do it. I still remember the motions. I just don't like to swim, so
Yeah,
I think it should. I think it is important that everyone does learn how to
yeah,
swim at some point. So
yeah.
I definitely thank my mom for putting me in swim lessons at our local YMCA, um, but yeah, the swimming, it just never like. I'm not the kind of guy like, hey, let's have a pool party. It's never going to be my idea or anything like that, if that makes sense. But
Well, you know the stereotype at times, right? And I don't know if it's a
yeah,
stereotype, but you have a pool party and nobody's in the pool.
yeah,
Everybody's around it with their feet, barbecuing. Like nobody in the pool. Like nah, we not we not going there. But but nah, man. And I want to ask you because you did mention your wife. I want to ask you like, how are you and and your wife like balancing everything with the newborn? Not only with the newborn, but still trying to make sure you guys have time for yourselves.
okay.
Um,
Well, I'm glad you asked that question.
yeah.
So I told you that so my youngest daughter and oldest daughter, they're 9 days apart. So about a week after my oldest daughter's birthday is our wedding anniversary.
What?
I wish I was kidding.
Yeah.
So
Jeez, my God.
yeah, so
I
luckily,
understand why you don't like September. I was
yeah,
kidding.
so yeah, once it gets, yeah, so that early October area, once it gets into that, it's just like, yeah, it's so this year. Well, luckily last year we celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary, and we
Okay.
went to Hawaii. So
Okay.
we were able to get a babysitter for our kid at the time, and we were able to enjoy like 5 days out there. Pretty nice. I don't know if you've ever been, but I'd recommend it to anyone who's never been. If it's any other state you ever visit, that I would. Hawaii definitely. Hopefully next is Japan, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's definitely on my bucket list. But so we did that. But this year we had to definitely take it easy. We were able to get out. I was able to arrange a babysitter, my sister-in-law, to come and watch the kids while we went to a lounge for a few hours. And for the most part, we had fun. It was
Okay.
pretty cool.
Dang, that's crazy though, because literally, you not only got your daughter's birthday, but then literally little after that, you have celebrating your anniversary. Sheesh,
Yeah,
that's that's crazy timing, man.
it is crazy timing. So I mean, so we were able to spend a little bit of time, and what we will do is we will definitely try to set up a day where it's like, hey, just you and me, definitely try to get babysitters and just people to help us out. We got to think about us too. We got to keep our marriage strong because you
Yeah,
just can't keep doing the whole classic. And I recommend this to anyone. Just hey, I go out with my friends. Spouse goes out with her friends. I mean it's sustainable, but I mean if you're not doing anything together, that's where it's kind of like
yeah,
missing. I feel.
yeah. That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, in that, right? Because I'm just thinking about just everything. Obviously, as men, we don't have to do the work like that, right? It's the women that's doing
Yeah.
all the work. But, like you said, this pregnancy was a little bit more, tougher for her than giving birth. And then,
Mm,
her body changes and,
yeah.
she's older too, right? So whatever, just I be thinking about just the different things, not only physically but mentally draining. Like, how have you been able to make sure not only you making sure your daughters are good, but how have you been able to make sure you're good with her too, to make sure you know what I mean? Because that's a real thing, man, where they be going through that what's that, like, postpartum and all that stuff,
Yeah.
bro.
So what I usually do is, since she's had kiddo, I definitely do try to make sure that she eats every morning. Just sometimes I'll get home after dropping the kid off from school, and if she and baby are asleep, I'll let them sleep. But if they're awake and just hey, you're hungry, you want something, just make sure she's eating because I think that's the number one important thing. Just make sure they're taking care of themselves so they can do what they need to do.
Mm.
Definitely relieve her. Do bottle feedings where I can. Just really do what I can. She's taking a shower. Hey, hold the baby. I mean, I was pretty hands on with my first daughter. Maybe I don't think any fellow's perfect. I mean, we do what we can. We
Yeah,
can't necessarily nurse or
yeah,
anything like that. So just do what we can do. Just give mama a breather so she can get in there and do what she has to do. So
yeah.
I feel like I do my best to do that.
No, that's good, man. Because I joke, like, it's like around that sweet spot is like 4 years old is like, okay, that's
Mm.
when dad can shine. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's when
definitely.
we can really do some stuff. Like, all right, you shouldn't be breastfeeding no more.
Mm.
Hopefully, you're somewhat potty trained, or at least you tell me when you gotta use the restroom, or you went to the restroom on yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
all right, we can kind of rock now a little bit. So, um, but I wanted to ask you too, man. So what I guess has your perspective on, I guess, fatherhood, bro, you know since you just gave birth to this beautiful daughter, like, has your perspective on fatherhood changed any now that you're looking back and you're like, man, like, my family's grown, like, I have this new addition.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's yeah, it's looking like the family has gotten bigger, and as a father, I feel I just feel blessed, that that I am a father, and I just want to be there in my kids' lives as long as I can. Just support them and whatever they want to do from birth to whenever that day comes. But just at least with my oldest daughter, I not all the time, but sometimes I do try to go to some of her swim lessons, and with my youngest daughter, I want to just make sure that she's in a good spot, and be there for those moments when she starts learning to walk, learning to talk, that sort of thing. So right, the only thing I can tell you there is I'm just blessed and just looking at it like wow. I mean, at least in this case, it's like wow, I'm a dad again for the second time. So
No, that's dope, man. I love it, bro. I love it now because you mentioned your oldest, how she does swimming and stuff like that. Like, how do you make sure your oldest still is like, because, like, kids, like, man, okay, I understand that's my younger sibling, but all the time it's going to them, right? So how do you make sure, like, your oldest still feels like loved and seen? Obviously, you love both of you and your wife love your oldest, of course, but how do you just make sure, like, I guess, make sure like she doesn't feel like she's an afterthought? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Because it can be
just
tricky at times,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I'm sure it can be, and maybe I haven't gotten into the root of it yet. But I think just one example would be just obviously celebrating her birthday. Just
Yeah.
we just made sure it was about her. We didn't like have like a lot of people over just checking out the baby. Just
Yeah.
and then I'm going to Knott's Berry Farm. Just trying to just spend time with her. Where you can, and
Mm.
so I mean, yeah, just just making sure that that you're talking to them, that they're there, and we do a good job of letting our daughter know, hey, how you doing? How's school and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, that's dope. I love it, man. So, like, do you, I shouldn't say pressure, but do you feel, or I should say, what do you feel? Because, like, I call it, I was the oldest. So I look at it like,
mm,
when you're the oldest, you're almost like the experiment kid, right? Because, I mean, parenthood is not easy. So you're right. It's trial and error. It doesn't mean it works. Whatever you did with this kid doesn't
yeah,
mean it works, but you just have a better idea. Like, what is something? I guess you as your daughter gets older. Obviously, she's only like a month right now,
mm,
or 2 months right now. But like, how do you? Or what do you look back like? Okay, this is what I did with my daughter. This kind of worked, or this didn't work. That you want to either continue to do, or you want to maybe not do as much.
uh, all right. Well, I think well, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, definitely we will restrict any like electronics and stuff where we can. It Yeah, we feel that she's a little too buried into her tablet at times. So, and
Mm,
I think it's just a problem all around with other parents too, based on who I'm talking to. So
yeah,
definitely just just trying to make sure that they're not on electronics as much. Try to just go back a little bit to the way I was raised, even though it was a long time ago now. But I mean, I was the oldest, so definitely just thinking back to times what my mom did and all that stuff in terms of just doing our best to raise me and my younger brother. So
that's what I was gonna say. Like how? Because I think we're all guilty of this. I'm guilty of this as well. But how do we do better with that? With because the tablet is so convenient, right? Like, of
yeah,
course we see like these videos, like, oh, as a parent, you shouldn't like. Okay, it sounds easy, but like,
yeah, it sounds easy. Well, I think one of the mistakes we did with our oldest is we gave her a tablet too soon. Like maybe 3 years old. Maybe just wait a little while. Like they don't need
yeah,
a tablet that while they're that young. I mean,
yeah,
at the same time, I'm not gonna resort to my phone either if they're
yeah,
having like a meltdown or something like that. But definitely, I and my wife we will try to come up with alternative ways to make sure that she is getting her needs, but not just caving in and like, all right, here's the tablet, just knock
yeah.
yourself out because that's not healthy.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree because again, I think all of our kids be, consumed with the tablets, but at the same time, I also look at it for me like, okay, if I'm consumed with my phone, right, and they're looking at me like I can't be mad if,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
so that's why I try to do better with, but what I'll
mm,
try to do is either maybe have them like look at a lesson on YouTube, or if it's a
yeah,
learning, like some type of learning game, or what I do a lot of times, I'll be like, hey, at this time you can go on the tablet, and you can go on the tablet on the weekends, right?
mm-hmm,
Like that's like one of my rules. They still
yeah,
go on there probably too much still, but like I try, like I'm trying to find that balance. So I understand what you're saying, bro, because
yeah,
there's like, let's say for example, you're cooking, you
mm,
know, your wife is trying to talk to you about something, right?
yeah,
Like you're also watching the show, and then your kids is like fighting, and you're like, all right, or upset about something. You're like, okay, look, you're mad about, I don't know, whatever. You're mad about something, like, just go on the tablet right now, so I can do
yeah. I mean, definitely, I will definitely try to find ways to just engage with them, whether it be with the tablet or just even just watching simple TV. Like it doesn't we don't always got to use that handheld device. So
Yeah.
definitely I'll definitely try to come up with some alternatives. I have some of my friends have more children than I do. Well, I caught up with some of them recently, so I'll definitely see what works for them and try to
Yeah.
get advice where I can. I mean, it never hurts to ask, definitely. So and
Yeah.
just incorporate it into my own style.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because at the end of the day, what just because that works for their household doesn't mean it works for yours, and vice versa.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
whatever system you know what I mean you need, and shoot, there might be someone listening and watching. They're like, my kids are always on a tablet and they're doing just fine. Hey, that's your,
yeah,
your prerogative, right? But like you said, I don't know, bro. I feel like we grew up in like a great era because we grew up where technology was starting, right?
yeah,
Like, we had it, but at the same time, it still was, hey, go outside. You know what I mean? Go ride your bike.
yeah.
Go to the park. I go to the park now. I don't see no one outside playing basketball or
Mm.
throwing a football. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like,
that's very important too. Just make sure you're getting out with your kids, not always staying indoors. I mean,
yeah,
weather aside, definitely. I know one thing I did with my oldest is, I did take her to the park quite a lot.
mm,
When she was, in those toddler years. So
yeah,
definitely, just getting outside and just staying engaged with them too. So,
yeah,
that's definitely another alternative. And then I know for us growing up though, I mean, yeah, it was still go outside, but at the end of the day, when you came home, you still had you know Nintendo or Sega or whatever your console of choice was when it came to video games
you did, you did.
or I mean, and then very few of us, well, maybe more people had handheld Game Boys. I mean, those were the tablets
Yeah,
back then. Now it's like,
true. And I think it's changed too because, like you said, we might have Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, whatever,
yeah,
but at the time, remember we couldn't play with our friends online. They had
no,
to come
no,
over, right?
yeah, they
So
had to go, yeah,
like, hey, you come over. Oh wow, you have the PlayStation. Like, oh shoot, yeah, I'm coming over, right? Like we
yeah,
grew up in that era, or we might have the PlayStation, but we still going outside because we like, oh well, my neighbor next door, he's outside, and my mom said no one can come in the house.
yeah,
Your room ain't clean, boy. You can't have them come over. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go outside with you.
yeah,
So so we grew up in that I feel like in that pretty good era. And where now, like I said, you don't again if it's hot or super cold, no. But
yeah.
now you don't. Unfortunately, kids don't really go out like that.
Yeah, not no more. I mean, well, the right now, when I walk my dog in the neighborhood, I see quite a bit of people in the park. During the hours I walk them, but just I mean, the weather is settling down now, but it's like,
Yeah,
but over the summers, it's just like, especially where I live. Oh my God, it's pretty hot. To the point where it's just like, you can resort to going to say like an indoor playground, but
yeah.
the closest one to my home, let's just say anytime someone goes there, someone always gets sick,
Oh dang.
which is pretty much translation for the employees don't clean the place. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna say any names, but
yeah,
just yeah, you just gotta be wary of there are places you could do it. Just make sure wherever you're going that they are cleaning the place properly because just a lot of kids, a lot of people, they be eating these things, and it's just like you don't want to be going home with any like sickness or anything like that. So
yeah. That you actually uh, made me think of this other question for you, bro. So, how were you when it came to and you and your wife, how were you when it came to your oldest at first when she was a baby compared to now? Because like, a lot of times I don't know if you was this way, but a lot of times where it's like, hey, don't be all up in their face, don't touch them, don't. And then the second one is like, oh, it's okay, like, or is it just still the same? Like, hey, I don't want
uh,
anyone in my kid's face right now. Like, how do you go
yeah,
about?
right now it's just the same thing. Just making sure people sanitize, wash their hands if they're gonna hold the baby, that sort of thing. So we did the same thing with our oldest. So we just making sure that everything is you know that if you're sick or if you feel sick, just let us know. I mean, it's okay. Like I
Yeah,
said, we don't really want any sickness coming into our household where we can prevent it, unfortunately. But
yeah, yeah. No, I get that because I know for me, like I was like that with not as far as not as far as like holding them or nothing like that. I was more so like, you know, my oldest gets hurt or something like that, right? Like I'm trying to figure out what happened, right? Compared
Mm.
to like now I hear something, I'm like, y'all all right? Y'all good? So like that dynamic change was like, okay, hey, they're gonna fall, they're gonna bump their, their toe or whatever the case is. So
I mean, slips, trips, and falls, bruises. That's. I mean, it's gonna happen because it's a part of life. I
yeah,
mean, you gotta. I mean, it's a way of learning, and no, there's no perfect, unbruised kid that I have ever met. I mean, if there is, I would like to meet him because I think we all, if you are a parent, you come across that regardless. That's not gonna
yeah,
all be like handy dandy. We all
yeah.
get bruises, we all get cuts, we all get hurt.
No,
That
that's
that sort
true.
of thing.
That's true, bro. So, but before we get out of here, bro, tell the people because you got a couple stuff you got going on, man. Tell the people so they can check out some of your stuff and see what you about. And I'm definitely gonna make sure I put y'all like the links and all that so
All
y'all can
right.
subscribe
Well,
and check out his stuff.
all right. Well, I mean, if you guys are on Instagram, Too Tall for You Fool, it's TWOTALL for UFOOL, and that's pretty much my handle. I've had it, a very long time since the days of AIM. I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah.
um, yeah, you can follow me on there. I am the host of two podcasts. One is the Game and Watch podcast, which is a video game podcast currently on hiatus right now. Me and my best friend who I do it with, we're trying to work ways to bring it back. So just stay tuned for that. And then another one that I've been promoting a little more heavily is Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. So if you love music, albums, primarily in hip hop, but we do other genres as well. Definitely check it out. We've coming up to 100 episodes pretty soon here. So
Congrats.
just if you like that sort of thing, if that's your thing, definitely give us a follow. And I do collect video games and vinyl records as well. So definitely um, you'll see that on my Instagram. But I'll definitely drop you the Instagram to Listen in 3D and the YouTube link also for y'all to
Oh,
subscribe there.
yeah, and I know a few people for sure that are into music heavy, so they would
Mm.
definitely want to check that out. Now, I cannot let you go without asking that as well. So since you said that, I have to get your thoughts on who has the hip hop album of the year so far, in your opinion.
Uh, I gotta go old school on you here. I gotta go with the Clips album so
Okay.
far.
No, I agree. I just wanted to,
Okay.
because that's my choice, but I was like, well, I don't know. You might say something else. So,
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta go with Clips. I know. I mean, usually like when I listen to hip hop, I do tend to listen to older artists, a little bit of new artists as well. Like
Mhm.
the new Cardi B album was, pretty good. And then I don't know if you heard that Mob Deep that just recently dropped. That had like an old classic '90s sound. Definitely check that one out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Check out the new Mob Deep. Yeah, I think
Okay.
you'll like that one if you liked them back in the day. But
Yeah.
right now, in terms of like the best, and actually, I do got a shout out Exhibit as well. He had I think, it came out earlier this year. That was a really good album as well, Exhibit. But the
Really? Okay.
Kingmaker. So, but I mean, in terms of like the best album, right now, I gotta go Clips. I gotta go Clips right now. So,
Okay. No, I agree. Hey, I'm like, because hey, this is what you do. So maybe I'm on the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
I
So
don't know. I mean, I just do it more as a hobby, and we
yeah, that's
mainly do
dope,
like
bro.
older albums. But I mean,
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. Yeah, no, I agree. The Clips album is definitely amazing. I
mm,
told everyone that. But no, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. I'll see you
mm.
guys on the next one.